Every cycle, we go through this period where alts begin to gain dominance versus BTC. BTC, remember, is the early market mover, the one that drives basically the bear market cycle into the early bull market. But then things start to change. Retail starts to take off, and guess what retail looks for? They look for altcoins. They look for value in the space. And that's what ADA is. It's value. It's retail, right? It's very heavily retail driven. Well, I will say this. I was wrong about the when and where ADA was going to flip around and start to gain dominance versus BTC. In fact, when we look at this ADA BTC chart, I believe I identified right here where ADA was coming back down and it was going to basically hit this. This was on Friday. Oh, where was that? Right at the start of April. I thought that was it. Thought that was our bounce. I thought even this was our bounce too, because we were really holding really good support at the 800 sat level, but that wasn't it. In fact, we date back to a much longer term trend line. And what we've seen now is ADA has in fact started to climb versus BTC. You guys can see over the past basically week or so here, ADA has been significantly outpacing what BTC is doing. And this is the case for most alts in the space. So this may be our trend moving forward here. Now, what this dates back to is all the way back to the early days of ADA. We're talking November of 2017, and we basically had this big wick down here. Now, this was kind of interesting because we were early on at that point, very early on, and ADA was extremely volatile. We were all over the place. You guys can see that big surge that we obviously had up to $2, and that's created some weird spots in these charts, okay? So what is interesting about this is if we actually draw the trend line from our consolidation range here, it actually times out perfectly with the bottom in terms of our BTC dominance in last cycle, and even right now to our bottom in our BTC dominance in this cycle. So now that we hit this line and we basically came back down and tested the top of our descending trend line here in terms of ADA and the ADA BTC pairing, we have started to bounce and started to climb. The interesting thing about this is we did this exact same thing last cycle, just on a much smaller scale. In fact, when we take a look back at this trend line here, you can see ADA had its breakout of its trend line. It came back down, tested it on the very short term before really truly emerging and separating here. Okay. So now we're doing this exact same thing. It's just on a bigger scale. It happened kind of earlier on. You can see early in November, we gained dominance versus BTC. ADA surged in a big way. If we take a look back here, you can see how aggressive this move was to the upside. Again, excitement from retail, big pushes were happening there. We were outpacing what BTC was doing. Then BTC, with the help of institutional money, really accelerated early on in this cycle. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, why this is exciting is, again, the big driver for the late market cycle is retail money. We've seen periods of brief retail excitement. We obviously saw that, when was that? Right at the end of February. You can see that big surge that ADA had right here too. And unfortunately, we gained so much ground that it didn't really play that much impact into the charts, but that was kind of the hint at what's to come here. So this is something that we have to watch moving forward. Now, this ADA BTC pairing, it is approaching its trend lines. That I really don't watch much here, but ADA did get rejected at about 52 cents. I think the next range we got to break is kind of these moving averages in terms of the daily. Our 200-day moving averages at about 52 cents, 54 cents is our resistance. Then we're trying to fight our liquidity levels here again. But remember this, when the market gets going, when retail money starts flowing back in a big way, these charts, they move extremely quickly. There are many people that are going to get left behind, many people that have been playing games this whole time. And again, people can always do what they want. Me personally, I know I got my bag set. I'm ready to roll. I DCA, I add opportunity when it presents itself. But I'm excited for these coming months here and the big influx that is going to happen back into crypto. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.